So this is Kerry. I'm Nikki. This is Chris. And we've been preparing for this since March. And when Kerry tells her story, you'll hear why. And so I've just asked her just to put some headlines together to tell us how we've got to this point of being baptised on a very wet Sunday afternoon, evening, and why we're taking this step now. And actually, Dave, as ever, well ahead of me by the Spirit's grace, because there will be things in Kerry's story that touch you deeply, because that's how God works. And he is speaking to our hearts. And certainly when I've had the joy and privilege of getting to know you and your stories over the years here, there's always been something that's touched me and made me think about my own faith journey. And we teach each other how to be disciples. So listen in to what Kerry has to say. And just as a sweetener, I did get Cornerstone.
I know.
So you can talk about Cornerstone now. So tell us why you're here. Tell us a bit about yourself and your journey so far.
So I just wrote a little short. I prayed for it and I asked God to give me these words. So I hope that this helps you understand my journey a little bit. As a teenager, I felt different and disconnected from the world. I was spiritually open and seeing and sensing things others weren't. I wanted to go to sleep and never wake up. I did wake up one morning, and God came to me. I felt his love, and I knew then that God was real. Sadly, I didn't take that path, the Christian path. I took a different path from spirituality. I became Wiccan, as I thought it was who I was supposed to be. I was clearly being moved further and further away from God's love. At the same age as I had my experience, my son had a near-death experience. He said, "Mum, the saddest part was I never felt God's love." So I reached out for Jesus and said, "Save me, and I will dedicate my life to you." And he wants you to pray to him. For the first time in my life, I did, and I got the message. It's time to come home now. From that day forward, I've accepted Jesus as my Lord and Saviour.
So, son, called Ryan. So when we're praying later on in the service, and as you're praying, as Kerry's baptised, be praying for Ryan as well. Because Ryan's been the wayfinder, hasn't he? He's kind of pioneered. He came to faith, it's fair to say, from nowhere. The Lord really spoke to him. And in the middle of a terrible episode in his life, really reached down to him and showed him where light was in a very, very dark place. Thanks. So when we're praying for Kerry, let's be praying for Ryan as well. When we've been praying with Kerry and we've been reading the Bible together, what comes across very strongly is that we are in a spiritual battle. The reality of the spiritual warfare that we're in. And Kerry's been saved from a very dark place around Wiccan and witchcraft and the occult, and is now proclaiming the light of Christ. And I want to say to you, Jesus has the victory. Jesus has come, light has come into the world, and it will never be put out. And that's what we proclaim tonight. We stand upon that truth, that God is alive, he's working, he's active, and he is our light to lead us. Okay,